Okay. We'll start then. Okay. Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will talk about the security concern in the wireless LAN. Okay. Till now we have seen a physical layer देखा हमने, MAC layer of wireless LAN वो भी देखा completely. Then IEEE standards देखे दो, that is IEEE standard 802.11b देखा पहले, फिर IEEE standard A भी देखा. Okay. So if you remember, the one of the optional function of MAC layer is providing security. Okay, so during the data transmission, now there are several type of securities. So like authentication hai, encryption hai, that can be provided for data transmission. Okay, so we'll see in detail about that one. कि ये है क्या basically. Okay, so we all agree that security is more of a concern in the wireless. Okay, q because it is more of a concern in wireless compared to the wired network. The first and foremost reason is the physical medium is absent in wireless communication. Okay, so there is no inherent physical protection that can be provided. So there are no wires, there are no cables available. So when the data is getting transmitted, so it is not protected from environmental effects via wires. Okay, so they are transmitting through the radio waves, we know that, and they are open to air. Okay, that also we know. So any environmental factor can easily impact the data transmission. Okay, so this physical connection are replaced by logical association in case of wireless. Okay, that is by means of radio waves, and which are susceptible to the environmental factor, easily get affected by the environmental factor. Second reason is that in wireless the communication is basically broadcast in nature. That means whatever data you send can be received by everyone within the vicinity of the sender. Okay, so wireless usually means the radio. Radio means radio waves which are having a high frequency, so it is having a broadcast nature, and transmission can be overheard by anyone in the range. Okay, so that is one particular problem. So if we are not using any encryption or security, then if it is transmitted in a original format, everyone can read your message, so that security cannot be present there. Okay, and that is not desirable in the case of unicast communication. Okay, so anyone can generate transmission, anyone can pretend to be you and send up a message to actual receiver. So that is a kind of attack that is observed surely in the wireless network. So it is possible that you will interfere other communication as well. Okay, just like others can interfere in your communication, you also can interfere. So unintentionally it might be happen. So you can also interfere into the others communication. So because your transmission will be received by everyone in the range. Okay, so if they are already communicating, then it will be an interference for them. So that is called as a jamming. Okay, so that is also another issue in the wireless network which we don't see in the wired networks. Okay, again, eavesdropping is very easy in this case. Okay, of wireless, because there is a absence of physical connection between sender and receiver. Eavesdropping is nothing but secretly listening to the actual ongoing communication, then injecting bogus messages into the network is easy. Okay, so this is nothing but if we want to hijack the communication or waste the bandwidth of communication, so that desired operation is not carried out, then you can, uh, as an attacker, you can inject a bogus messages into the network. So this is another type of attack which we several times see in the wireless network. Okay, so injecting fake messages into the network is easy, so that bandwidth is occupied and it can provide a denial of service attack. Okay, So if the bandwidth is occupied all the time, others users cannot exactly acquire the bandwidth for communication who actually required. Okay, then replaying previous messages. Okay, that is replay attack. That is replaying the previously recorded messages is also easy. That means if you want to hijack the communication, you can hijack the identity of a user and replay the same message again and again, so that bandwidth is remained occupied and further communication is not possible. Okay, so this is called as a replay attack. So all types of threats in this wireless LAN we will see at the end of this entire discussion regarding security. Then illegitimate access. Illegitimate access is one of the thing. Okay, and its services is very easy. So any fake user can access the network. If the network is without any kind of security, the fake users can easily access the network. So illegitimate access is easy in case of wireless LAN. Then denial of service, okay, is easily achieved by jamming also. Okay, so jamming prevents other users for accessing the network, and it is again a type of denial of service. Okay, so then apart from these usual threats we see in the network, there is some additional issues. First one is mobility of the user. Okay, so now since user are supported to be a mobile in wireless media, especially in the mobile network, they are carrying the portable devices. They are carrying the portable devices, so they can easily be stolen by the attackers. So they are not physically secure. So if they are stolen, they can send message using your devices and carry out the communication on your behalf. Okay, so that is also a threat in case of wireless network. If you intend to use a security in your communication, then you might employ a complex security algorithm which is used in the wire network. Okay, but those security algorithm will consume many resources like memory and processing resources. Then that battery will drain out quite easily. So you have to think of security which will power conservative. So we need a simpler security in case of wireless compared to the wired network. So keeping in mind all these requirements, we need to think of it. Okay, there are few factors which are considered and are mandatory. Okay, and are mandatory, or maybe minimum required security concern or security essential by the wireless LAN that we will see. And these are generally classified into broadly 6 categories. Okay, you can see the categories are given there. Uh, First, the wireless communication should be confidential. So confidentiality is the first requirement of the security in the wireless network. So confidentiality is nothing but the messages exchanged over the wireless network must be encrypted. Okay, so that only intended participants of the communication will be able to understand that. Apart from those intended participant, nobody else should be able to understand the messages. Okay, so nobody else should be understand what the communication is going on. So others may receive your messages but they will not understand the meaning of those messages. That is the meaning of confidentiality. Then next is authenticity. This is nothing but verifying whether the sender of the message or origin of the message is verified or not. Okay, so authenticated user has sent this message or a fake user has sent this message, that must be checked. Okay, and the third requirement is the replay detection. Okay, so if you are receiving same message again and again, you should not waste the time on decrypting or processing the same received message again and again. So detecting freshness of message or detecting freshness of a message in another essential thing regarding security in the wireless network. Then the fourth one is the integrity. Then the fourth one is a integrity. So we know what is integrity is. So when whatever message that you have received, Okay, you have to check whether the same message was transmitted by the transmitter or not. So that is required because message over the wireless media that is in the free space can be modified, and that can happen in the case of wired network also. Although in case of wireless network it is not that easy to modify the message, but still it is possible. So you have to check whether the man in the middle attack has happened or not. If somebody in between has hijacked your communication and modified the contents of your intended received message, then you should check that one. Okay, so checking the integrity of the message is the another important aspect. The next one is the authentication related. Okay, that is your access control. The network should be accessed by only the legitimate entities. Okay, if a network is supposed to provide services to 5 users, मान लेते, all the 5 users should be valid in that case, or authenticated users. There should not be any intruder or attacker inside the network. Okay, and apart from that, the access given should be permanent one. Okay, so it's not just to check the legitimacy of the entity when it joins the network, but throughout the presence of that particular entity within the network, that access should be, or that integrity should be checked, or authenticity should be checked, because logical association can be hijacked easily, that we know. Okay, so it's not like that once you join the network it will remain as it is throughout your existence in the network. You have to verify your authenticity or validity throughout the existence of your network. Okay, so from time to time you will be required to authenticate yourself that you are the authenticated user, and maybe not different user from different networks if you are handling. So every time you need to check out. Okay, so the networks will decide how much time it will refresh the authentication process. Then the last one is that is very essential. Sorry. Protection against jamming. Okay, so other communication should not hamper the ongoing communication. So protection against the jamming is also necessary. So considering all these security requirements, IEEE 802.11 introduced first security standard in the wireless LAN for the first time जब उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किया था IEEE standard 802.11b. Okay, so we have seen the IEEE 802.11b standard in the previous 2 lectures. In that you have seen that security is provided by the WEP protocol. वहाँ पे अगर आपको याद रहेगा तो. Okay, so we are going to see ये WEP protocol क्या है. Okay, so which was introduced in 802.11b. So 802.11b was the first standard of 802.11. So before going to understand the working of WEP, first we should understand the process of how infrastructure based networks operate for communication. How infrastructure based network operates on communication. Okay, so most of the time these infrastructure networks are nothing but called as a Wi-Fi. We know that. Okay, so let's see the Wi-Fi operation, how communication happens in the Wi-Fi. So let's say a station enters into the infrastructure based network. Let's call it now as a Wi-Fi, so which has a network has a access point. So there may be more than one access point, but here in the diagram only one access point is shown. So but there may be the more than that also. So these access point are there, and they are continuously sending a beacon message, okay, with their own SSID. They periodically broadcast a beacon message with their SSID. That is a service set ID and a security level that they are providing. Okay, now once you enter the network, you will receive this beacon frame. Okay, और beacon message जिसको कहा जाता है, and decide which access point to choose. So subscriber station means the station which is entered into the network. So listen to these beacons, measure the signal strength, who is providing a better signal strength, and determine which access point to join. Okay, they determine, let's say this access point is which is shown here. This access point is providing the better signal strength, so this station wants to join this network. Okay, so it will try to authenticate itself with this access point. So subscriber can also send a probe message to find the access point in the neighborhood. Okay, so why this probe message is required? Okay, so let's suppose that once a station enters the network, it does not receive any beacon message, suppose. So what will happen now? So if it does not receive any beacon message, then it can send a probe message. Okay, so find out which, for what purpose? To find out which are the access point there are in the vicinity of that particular station. So probe messages जो रहेंगे is an alternative to the beacon message. If access point is not asking to communicate, then mobile station will ask to communicate through probe message. Okay, so it is an alternative to the beacon message. Okay, so once it has decided that one particular access point is providing rather better service, so it tries to authenticate itself with that particular access point. Okay, so access point authenticates the subscriber using the shared keys. Okay, so that is pre-shared key authentication. Okay, so that process we will see. Okay, so that is authenticated subscriber and access point exchanging encrypted packets. So once the communication is over, then it get disassociated, or send disassociated message is sent to the access point, and station is logged off from the access point. Okay, so there are two types of authentications. Okay, can be seen in the infrastructure network, that is Wi-Fi network. First one is the open system authentication. Okay, and second is shared key authentication method. Okay, so open system authentication does not include any kind of password. So once you enter the network and decide which access point to join, you can simply enter the SSID of the access point, join the network. Okay, no verification will be done or required, so no keys will be shared. Okay, so it is an open access Wi-Fi network, so anyone can join. And then second one is the shared key authentication. So shared key authentication means it is based on the challenge response method, where you will be required to enter a password which will be nothing but a response to the challenge offered by the access point. So open system authentication does not provide security, whereas shared key authentication is used mostly in all the Wi-Fi networks or wireless LAN networks. Okay, so we have talked about the requirement, or what is it. So we'll talk about now with the WEP protocol. Okay, WEP stands for wired equivalent privacy. It stands for wired equivalent privacy. So this protocol, which was introduced and supposed to provide a privacy which was equivalent to the privacy offered by the wired networks, whether they achieved it or not, that is a different issue or different point of discussion. But based on that, the same was given in as a wired equivalent privacy. Okay, so data security using encryption, as I said, an optional function of the MAC layer. So this function is known as WEP in the case of 802.11 standard. Okay, now one important thing to note that, or note here, is this encryption is only supplied between station and not end-to-end basis. Okay, so suppose if there is a transmitter, okay, and there is a receiver. Okay, so there will be access point in between. Okay, so the encryption will remain valid only between stations. So transmitter to access point. Okay, okay, and access point to receiver. Okay, so this encryption is different from, this particular encryption is different from this encryption. Okay, so same encryption mechanism will be used, will not be used in both the cases. यहाँ से यहाँ तक का encryption will be different, and this from this AP to RX ka encryption will be different. Direct encryption is not allowed one to one. Okay, so both will WAP rahenge, but the encryption keys will be different for different connection. Or in case of ad hoc networks also, if they communicate in suppose multi-hop communication, okay, then there will be a intermediate nodes bhi rahenge, to bhi, so direct encryption is not provided. Only the link based or the hook based encryption will be provided. Means from this to this, if you are communicating, then encryption will be different. From this to this, if you are communicating, encryption will be different. Okay, so that kind of hook based encryption will be provided. Okay, so key management, how to manage the different key is not specified, so that is left up to the access points. So authentication is performed by assigning extended service states, okay, or extended service set ID to each access point. So in one Wi-Fi network, so there may be several extended service sets IDs which are connected by the distribution system. So हमें पता है distribution system कैसे work करता है. We have seen the diagram architecture of wireless LAN or ad hoc networks. Okay, so using this ESSID, the authentication can be done via challenge response method. So this WAP is a part of 802.11 specification. So it's a standard and a mandatory one for all the versions onward 802.11b. So that you can see it is defined in 802.11b. So whichever standard which was developed after the which you will see after the (802.11b) has to provide at least WP level of security. So later on, further security mechanism were introduced like WPA hai, WPA2 hai, and so on. But at least WP should be provided. Okay, so what WP provides? So it provides both authentication as well as encryption. Okay, so we will see both one by one. So WP is the first security mechanism introduced in the wireless LAN by IEEE 802.11 standard. Okay, so let's see the authentication process. So authentication in WAP is via challenge response method using the shared secret key. Okay, so it's a shared key authentication. So it's not an open system authentication. It's a shared key authentication. So authentication is based on a simple challenge response protocol where when a station enters into the network, it sends an authentication request to the access point. Okay, now access point sends a challenge. Sorry, access point sends a challenge to this station. Okay, to which station responds with the with the response. Okay, sorry. So this response is calculated by using a shared secret key. Okay, that is shared secret key response calculation. Okay, which are available with both the access point as well as with the station. Okay, now how access point and station are sharing the secret key, that is not defined in IEEE 802.11 standard or WP standard. So the WP does not define how secret keys are shared between access point and station. So using that secret key, station will calculate the response and send it to the access point. Okay, so now access point will check whether the challenge and response is matched or not. If it is matched, it tells the session that authentication is successful. Okay, if challenge and response does not match or do not match, So it tells the station that authentication is failed. That is a very simple process. Okay. So authentication fail hota hai to station cannot be connected. Okay, so this is a simply nothing but the entering the password for the Wi-Fi network and getting successfully connected to it. Okay, so once authenticated, station can send an association request that is sent in by default. Okay, so once the password is successfully accepted, an access point will respond with association message. Okay, so that the message which will accept the request. Okay, after enter correct password, that is your station will get connected. So that message will be see when we enter the correct password. Okay, so if authentication fails, no association will be possible. So we can see the corresponding message also, and password is incorrect or something like that message we will see. So that is the association and disassociation, or rather than association and not being able to perform the association. Okay, so that is how the authentication is carried out. So key part is challenge and response, that is access point sending the challenge and station calculating that response using the shared secret key. Okay, now that is the important part of this authentication process, and how the keys are exchanged, that is not mentioned in the standard. Okay, so after the authentication, the next is security level is providing its encryption, so that is providing confidentiality for the communication. So the encryption mechanism is shown on your screen. Okay, where different new things you will see, we will see them one by one. So WP encryption is based on RC4 stream cipher. You might have studied this RC4 stream cipher in security subject. So it uses 4 different keys for encryption. So that is used in case of WP encryption. So we will see how it works one by one. So in WEP, every packet that is transmitted is using a separate key. Okay, so the per packet encryption key is different. Okay, so now how that is generated? So now that is generated using 24-bit initialization vector, that is IV. Okay, so 24-bit initialization vector and one of the pre-shared key, Okay, so RC4 requires 4 keys, are provided 4 keys. Out of these 4 keys, 1 key is used for generating per packet encryption key. So this key will change from packet to packet. Okay, so now how that will change? So let's see the process. But before seeing the process for this encryption algorithm, RC4 keys is either of 64-bit or 128-bit, out of which 24 bits are initialization vector. Okay, that is seen, we have already seen initialization vector. Here also you will see. Okay, which was later on enhanced to 128-bit key. Okay, so let's see how the encryption happens. So now, as I said, IV is appended, that is concatenated. Okay, so this particular symbol is for concatenated with the shared key. IV is appended with the, so simple appending of IV plus pre-shared key. Okay, so combination of this, so that is done to produce a seed. Okay, now this seed, that is nothing but a sequence of ones and zeros, is provided to the pseudo random code और pseudo random number generator PRNG यहाँ पे रहता है, PRNG जिसको कहा जाता है, PRNG यहाँ पे A block में PRNG stands for pseudo random number generator, so which takes the input as a seed. Okay, which is nothing but the combination of these two. Okay, now based on each seed value, a different random number which will be generated as a RC4 key sequence. Okay, so RC4 key sequence generated for each RC4 key, for each RC4 key or new key sequence will be generated by the pseudo random number generated, जिसको PRNG कहा जाता है. Okay, so now this key sequence is used for encryption now. Okay, now the data that has to be encrypted, that is your plain text. Okay, so that data must be checked for integrity also. So to provide an integrity of the data over a wireless link, it is applied to the integrity algorithm. Okay, so which is nothing but a CRC32. Okay, integrity check algorithm. That's 32-bit CRC is calculated for a given data, and that is used as a ICV value. ICV, integrity check value. Okay, so ICV is nothing but the CRC of data to be, or CRC of data to be transmitted. So ICV stands for integrity check value. Now your data, that is a plain text plus ICV, okay, is used for encryption. Okay, again there is a concatenation here, you can see क्या है, plain text plus ICV, and concatenation is done here, means here it will be sent for encryption. So it is a simple appending of the plain text at the tail end. CRC is appended. So CRC is called calculated on plain text. So now using the key sequence and this one, that is plain text plus ICV, a ciphertext is generated. Okay, using this key sequence which is generated, key sequence, and this plain text plus ICV which is forwarded. So depending on the this thing, the ciphertext will be generated. Okay, so important thing is ciphertext is equal to the CT is equal to the key sequence plus PT plus ICV. Okay, that is ciphertext is equal to key sequence XORed with PT plus ICV value. Okay, so this is how the encryption is take place. So we will show that the cipher is nothing but the key sequence. Ciphertext क्या रहेगा? Ciphertext is nothing but a key sequence, that is KS is XORed with PT plain text and ICV together. Okay, so at reception, what will happen? So we will receive a ciphertext. From that, we have to take over a plain text. So exactly reverse procedure can be carried out. So in order to recover the plain text or ICV, plain text ICV, that is combination CT plus KS. Okay, so that is obtained via XORing the ciphertext with the key sequence. Okay, that is at the receiver. Okay, so that is the important to remember. So remember this thing at the receiver, what is happening. So that's why XOR operation is done, because it is linear in nature at the receiver. So it should be easy to recover original plain text from the receiver ciphertext or received ciphertext. Okay, so the data that is transmitted is not only the ciphertext, initialization vector is also sent along with the, if you remember, is sent along with this. Okay, which is appended previous to the ciphertext. So the data that is transmitted, so transmission is of IV plus और IV and CT का होता है, सॉरी IV and CT का होता है, ओके. So along with the ciphertext वो send किया जाता है. So this packet is transmitted as a data packet. So this is how the encryption is carried out, okay. So operation is mentioned in sentences over here. So steps are mentioned for each message to be sent. RC4 is initialized with the shared secret key, okay. Between RC4 that produces a random number that is known as a key sequence, okay, that is pseudo random key byte sequence. This pseudo random byte sequence is XORed to the message. It is essential that each message is encrypted with a different key stream. So important thing is this key sequence should be different for different packet, okay. So IV is also different, then shared key is same for each packet, same for each packet. So this is important to remember, okay. So each message is encrypted with a different key stream. Shared secret is same for each message, but this is for keeping or identifying the user, okay. So IV changes for every message and initialization vector will change for every message, that is IV only. So that's why it is sent along with the ciphertext. So WEP integrity protection is based on the encrypted CRC value, that is ICV, which is nothing but the CRC of the plain text is applied, appended to the message, and ICV encrypted together, and the process we have already seen in the previous slide. So at the receiver end, what happens? It is exactly the opposite process of transmission. So at the receiver end, simple, we will receive is this thing, that is IV plus ciphertext milega hame, okay. It is received value out of which ciphertext is extracted separately and IV is extracted separately, okay. So now shared secret key between station and access point, that is used for extracting the plain text, okay. So we know that this key is available with the station as well as with the access point. So the secret key is appended to the received message. So secret key is appended okay with the received message, that is IV plus ciphertext, okay, and give it as a seed to the pseudo random generator again. So this becomes a seed for pseudo random generator that generates a key sequence again, okay, and the sequence will be used for separating a plain text from ciphertext. So ciphertext यहाँ पे दे दिया. So what happens? The key sequence is XORed with the ciphertext. So this we have just now studied. Okay, so if key sequence is XORed with the ciphertext, what we will get is the plain text and the ICV. दोनों मिलेंगे. Okay, so key sequence XORed with the ciphertext gives you the plain text and ICV. Okay, so plain text is separated and ICV is separated now. Now integrity of the received plain text should be also checked. Okay, so this plain text is given to the integrity algorithm. So another ICV is, जिसको ICV dash कहा जाएगा, is separated. Now integrity of the received plain text should be also checked. So this plain text is given to the integrity algorithm. So another ICV is calculated. So this ICV is known as ICV dash, and original ICV and this ICV dash are compared. Okay, so calculated ICV, it is equal to receive ICV that we check. So if both are same, then there is no alteration of transmitted text, we can assume, and the correct text has been received. Okay, so this is how the integrity is verified and encryption and decryption is done. That is what the WEP security or WEP protocol.